editor at Serpstat. Today I would love to talk about AI, the technology which have changed the surface of content marketing, and of SEO as well. Um, let's start from some terms. So there is a scientific approach called deep learning, and this approach helps machines to learn in the same way as humans do. And machines can use the same patterns as people doing during learning, and also they have something like neural links, which helps with the dataset to obtain new results based on this dataset. So let's move to the contents. First of all, we will discuss some image generation tools based on DALL-E from OpenAI. After that, I will shortly show you some features of GPT-3 and also GPT-Neo-X system in the text generation. And after that, I will show you some application to the SEO of the main features of GPT. Also, I would like to talk about some problems which related to the usage of AI, and we will summarize all this knowledge. So let's start with image generation, and here you can see the scheme with which DALL-E works with the brand new images. So first step is to create some description of new image. DALL-E will work with a huge database which related to the image description and different images. And using first model cast clip or constructed language image pre-training model, these queries will work with another model called GLIDE, or Guided Language to Image Diffusion for Generation and Editing. And in the picture below and above, you will you have the ability to see such diffusion in action. So we will have some noise from which in a reverse diffusion process, we will get a new image based on the training data which DALL-E has and using some models which will help the machine to interpret your own queries. And here you can see some examples which I have created using Midjourney. I love spend time in Discord using Midjourney. It's free, and you can also create your first 25 images in trial mode. And there, just in the chat, you can use the command imagine prompt and to create some description to the future picture you're going to create. So here you can see corgi and image of my favorite singer, Grimes. I really love the results because I'm not good in drawing. So for me, it's ability to get something interesting with this picture. You can work using Photoshop or to give some editing work, some technical requirements to your designers, and this will be like basement to create something new. And now let's move to the textual creating. So first of all, it's worth noting that GPT is a common name, generative pre-training transforming model. So you can create your own GPT. OpenAI have created GPT-3, and there is also a GPT-Neo-X system, which works great as well. So here you can see the table of different models, which was started in different years. And the first one was started in 2019. It was ADA, and ADA is the fastest model. But DaVinci is the most capable and widespread model. So all these different models was trained back in 2028. And you better keep in mind that in case you want to create something fresh and trending, it will not really work with auto-generated systems because this data set was created earlier. And now let's move to the SEO application of different GPT-3 models. So if you're just trying to start in the applying GPT to your SEO tasks, you can start with FAQ generation and also with micro content. I had to know that GPT works better with a small amount of text and with the micro contents because if you will try to create a full-scale article or blog post, some long read from scratch, it will have a lot of repetitions or information which will need your future recheck, double check, re-examination. And in case with micro content, it will work better. Also, you can use GPT for title and description generation, and it will save you a lot of time, especially if your content plan is consist of, let's say, 5 articles daily in the full-scale blogs which related to some news, media, and etc. Also, you can try to use GPT for the placeholders on your brand new websites. Then you're trying to create something from scratch. It will be easier to rely on some generated content, and in the future, you can just improve this text. Maybe you will get some analytics data and realize which pages will work better. And of course, you can use API of OpenAI or another platform to build your own tools. If you have experience in building some platforms and etc., it will be a great idea as well. And now let's move to the more creative ways to use GPT-3 or GPT-NeoX. So first point is when you want to create something like your own Google. It might sound maybe strange, but using the data set, which was the basement of GPT, you can get answer on every question. So it will be okay if you will try to use it in this way. Also, if you're trying to create your CV, it will be okay if you will create some descriptions and apply it to your CV, but it's for sure needs your recheck. Also, you can create your own SQL queries or even Google spreadsheet functions. And if you want, you can easily Google some add-ons which works for Google spreadsheets. And let's say create a few columns with different information which will be filled using functions with data and content with GPT. The next interesting point of view is that you can create your own design using GPT. And I saw on the technical demo that you can create some description for button or a web element, and GPT will try with API of Figma, create something new and similar to your reference. Also, an idea is to use GPT for writing podcasts. If it works for you, you can create something like interviews or to create some scenarios in which you have to create dialogues with different information. And after that, you can just put some curated statistical data to give some additional value to the listeners or readers and create something like this. Also, you can use GPT for writing small description to the strings of code, and it will be faster, and also it will help you to create some technical requirements. The next point is for data visualization. Um, I, um, I guess that you can create, for example, some infographics with the data you will get using machine learning or AI texts you can add. So it is also an idea. The next point related to the e-commerce, and for this line of business there are a lot of different tools which will help you to create the descriptions for the products, and it will work good to create some descriptions to the specificities of the goods. And you have to re-examine this text, but it will be like micro content as well, so it will work for you and it will save a lot of time as well. And the last idea I have added to this slide is in case you have pointed some bad quality content in the SERP, in the top of SERP, you can easily try to replace it with the better quality materials on the same topic. So in this case, it will be easier for you to get to the top of SERP by some keywords. But for the previous writer, it's not really pro to not recheck that text which will be shown on that top. So now I want to show some to do or not to do with GPT-3. And according to the pros, you can, for example, use GPT to write some small content and for paraphrasing and etc. Another idea is to use GPT for generating contents, new topics, and to add it to your content plan. The next interesting approach in this case is better to use GPT-3. Then you're trying to scale your business, and from the beginning you're not sure that some pages will have that demand that you're expecting to. So in this case, you can use GPT to create some content to get some analytics, and in case it works for you, to improve it in the nearest future. And the last but not the least in here is then you're trying to add some support to your content team, to paraphrasing, to some tools which will help them to generate ideas. For me, it's great opportunity to use paraphrasing case with a passive voice or with some boring descriptions which I don't really like to add. I can just add more curated content and some statistical information which related to my job to make this content more research, to add some researches. But small description using AI will be okay as well. And there are also things not to do with GPT. First point, it's writing full blog posts without any rechecks. So it will be a mistake for sure because there might be some repetitions. There will be some untrusted maybe information and even some biases. So in this case, better not to use AI in the full scale, but you can apply it for your micro content. The next point is then you're trying to create some, let's say, commercial content which needs some targeted keywords. And in this case, it's better use GPT just for small pieces of text, but to make it to keep that human touch in your text. The next point related to the branded content, and it's clear that first of all, the data which was gathered by GPT-3 was gathered in 2021, so it might not work for your line of business. So it's also a bad idea to use it for branded content. And the last point in here is not to use GPT with your money, your life content, because I think not only for me, it's a frightening idea to get some advice from according to the financial or medical information from machines. So it's also like a red flag. And now I would like to present you some toolset from Serpstat, which use GPT-3 and GPT Neo X. And the first tool called Article Builder. So here the main value of this tool that you can create your text one by one using some titles and contents. So here you can see the content, and it's optional. You can create this title, and after that you can just generate one by one the pieces of text. And here you can see the result, and also if you're not okay with this result, you can use paraphrasing. The next tool called Bank of Words, and this feature will help you to get the list of keywords. So in this case, we don't use AI, and this report works faster. But in this case, you can't apply some models or specification. You can just put URL or text, and you will get the list of keywords and the frequency these keywords was shown in your text. The next tool in opposite use AI, and here you can put some indicators called MRR, and you will also you can apply model like BERT, but not that BERT which Google has. It can just mislead you because it's common name of the architect, and in this case we will make the distance between keywords longer or shorter, because for machines it's harder to understand the intent. Like mathematically, this algorithm will have like distance between keywords literally. And in case you will apply indicator related to the distance, You will put, for example, the higher diversity, and the distance will be longer as well. So the main value of this tool is that you can get some insights on what Google can see from your text. So you can extract some keywords and get highlights from your text. The next tool called keyword patterns, and in this case you will get some synonym patterns related to your keyword list or text. And it's a great ability to get LSI keywords or long tail keywords to make your keyword research better. And this is unique tool of SERPstat because in this case we will use SERPstat indices. So we will go to the index of SERPstat and search for some ad examples, and after that we will apply GPT and create the snippet of paid promotional um, text, and also we'll show you some examples which we got in the search database of SERPstat. And one more unique tool which use also SERPstat database called FAQ generation. And the main value of this report is the schema markup expert. So you can generate some questions, after that generate answers to make an expert of the schema markup format, and after that just put it to your web page, and in this case you will improve your chances to get to the SERP features. On this slide I want to point some main steps and main arguments from the Google Search Central documentation about the Google opinion on the AI content. And also you can scan this QR code in here, and if you are interested in this question, you can go through our Twitter chat materials based on the interview with the prominent SEO specialist, and from there you can get some insights. But what I can add to the Google approach that Markov chain algorithm, which you can see in here, was like ancient algorithm and used GPT based on the more sophisticated approaches. So Markov chain was based on the probability from the previous texts and keywords. And in case with GPT, you can get a lot of different ways and like black box of the pieces of content. So for GPT, it's according to GPT, it's much more sophisticated model, and you don't have to really be afraid that Google will detect your text right after you published it to your blog, especially if you use your human touch and also double checked all your got as generated text. And in continuation to this topic, I also want to share the research from SERPstat team. So we are working on the feature which will help to identify the AI generated content, and I hope that it will release it soon. And in this case, it will be easier to identify some bad quality text and replace it with your curated and better content. So in our research, we used Wikipedia pages and also AI content. And in case with Wikipedia, we got only 5% of AI generated content. And in case with AI content, 75% of text was identified as handwritten. So it's also interesting point, and we can detect with our own eyes if this content was created using AI with the repetition, with the simplicity of some sentences, and things like this. But it's harder now for the algorithms to understand if text was created with AI, especially if you will use your own approach with your own tone of voice and etc. And here you can see the tweet of SEO of OpenAI. And here I want to talk shortly about problems related to AI generation tools. So first problem, as for me, it's biases. And biases is something common which a human also have. But in case with human, you can go somewhere to your teacher or to your relatives to get some advice and realize if some information was maybe disinformation or not really trustworthy. But in case with machines, um, it's like as said before, black box testing. So if researchers worked better on the data set and got a lot of insights during studying, it will be it will ensure that this model will work correctly. But it's still a really big risk. And I will shortly tell you a story related to the Amazon. So now in the news, you maybe see some articles related to the CV model CV algorithms to rate some candidates, which was applied by Amazon. But first, this approach was had place in 2013, I guess, uh, and you can also Google it. So Amazon tried to train their model using the huge data set from the applicants which send their CV to the company. And this machine learning model should to rate some CVs with stars. And based on the training data, Amazon's algorithm decided that there were more male CVs. That's why male are more important to the work. So in this case, the CVs from female was discriminated, and this problem wasn't detected in time. So it's a good example that then something will can go wrong even if you have a huge enterprise and your scientists works hard on the improvement of different algorithms. But now I hope it will work in another way. And in case Amazon used, for example, data set with the higher diversity, like in the Glassdoor, it it could work better. So another problem of GPT algorithms is that you have to apply more re-examination, tone of voice, and etc. It works not really perfect for now. And this system depends on the data set which was fed to the model from during the training time. The next problem it worth noting is that it's extremely expensive to train such algorithms. And in case with GPT, there are two approaches. So first one, you can, for example, use architectural way and improve the existing neural links inside this system. And in case with extensive way, you just trying to get more sources and to improve your model and in extensive way. But it's still really expensive to train it appropriately. So I hope that in the nearest future we will have some additional sophisticated models, but for now it works like this. And to summarize everything I said before, I want to tell that for now it seems that we have to adapt to the new reality. And if we will try to collaborate with GPT, with image generation, and etc., we will get our benefits as well. And it will be also an opportunity for us. So if you're just starting in using some algorithm related to AI, to the text generation, you maybe got your benefits already. And now you have more time on some human related tasks or for improving your strategies on analytics works and etc. So it's better to adopt and to find the new ways to collaborate with AI, to keep your human touch, to keep your curated content with tone of voice, with your own maybe vision of the content, to make it more interesting, exciting, and etc. And now I want to recommend you just to use free trial or try our tools with 30% off during our Christmas sale. You can scan this QR code and go through different niches or lines of business. Maybe you're inside some line of business already. And in this article, you will find some interesting tools which can be applied to your working routine. And just try all features related to artificial intelligence and machine learning. And in this case, I think you will not go back because it's like good assistance for content writer, for SEO specialists, and in different business line, it will improve your usual working schedule. So thank you for your attention. Looking forward to answer to your questions. Thanks.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Katie, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Sorry for not being with you in person.
Yeah, no problem. Actually, the video just worked perfect, and I think our attendees are really pleased to see your video and your presentation. And we really want to thank you a lot for your effort, and it was really interesting for us. And it is really hot topic nowadays. Most probably you also see the news on the Twitter and the other social media. This is very hot topic, the AI, the GPT-3, and the expected the conversion of the content creation. So thank you a lot for being with us.
Oh, thanks, you too. Yes, it's really even overhyped topic, I think. And we have a lot of news about Stable Diffusion, about different tools for AI in content, and it's great. I think that in the future perspective, it will be better, even better.
Yeah, we are waiting for it. Thank you so much again. We have some questions for you. If you like, I can read them to you, and you can answer them.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
One of the questions are: can AI able to write about the same topic from different point of view for each user? Do you think content from AI is going to look like in the near future?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I got this question, and to be honest, I was interested in this too. That's why I was asking our mathematician guys what is the probability to get the same results with different users on GPT API. So that guy told that it's from 20 to 60%, that it will be something similar, some similar phrases or the same construction, but it will not be the same for sure. But there is such probability, and it's from 20 to 60%. But still, we haven't researches which can show the originally such results. So it's like something that we can assist, estimate, and tell, but it still will not be the same result, the same text. It will be something similar. Yeah. And according to how GPT will look like in the nearest future, I think that OpenAI is a great company, and they are working on with the same efforts with DALL-E and with GPT-3. So I guess that it will be for sure on more languages. It will be scaled on other languages. I saw already some results on French, and I think it will be also in different, maybe even Chinese. So it's a great step as well. So I think it's the most prominent ways to develop GPT.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for your answer. I think it was very detailed and informative. And the next question is, do you really think AI can take our job, especially in terms of technical SEO, assuming that content part is already handled very good by AI? One of the questions like this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm not sure that we will stay without job for sure, because we still need to recheck the text GPT created, and also we have to put our curated content, so more statistical information and etc. But according to the technical SEO, I'm absolutely sure that we still need to check if our pages was indexed, if all texts we have created was good enough to get the highest position in SERP. So technical SEO will rocks as well in the nearest future. And content marketing is interesting for now, that now backlinks not really in trend, and everybody are trying their best to create better content. But I still think that technical issues, usability, and etc., core web vitals will have a lot of our time as SEO specialists.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Another question is from James. To be honest, it's really easy to produce very qualified content if we give a good outline to GPT-3 engine. Are you worried if there will be a kind of a content garbage in web near future?
Mm-hmm. Okay. To be honest, just today I was reading to one article in which some SEO specialists told that the latest POM update was aimed on the AI content, and in the fight with such auto-generated content. But I made my own research on the Google Helpful Content update and also on Core update, the latest from September. And I tried it with my content, which was like from 5 to 10% done with AI. And with my recheck, it was okay, it was indexed and so on. So I think it depends on the level of your re-examination. And in case you checked your content appropriate, as today also Martin Split said, I really like it, that we have to use AI as an additional tool set, but not something like ready-made content. It's like first-made content, something like structure, and etc. But also, I'm concerned that some specialists will try to, spend less time on content creation and use a ready-made construction from AI. It will be not really good for content for sure. But also, according to the latest research, we have up to 60% of copied content in the internet. And for me, it's a huge amount as well. So I guess that we need to work more on helpful and unique content and also to recheck AI content as well. So.
Yeah, thank you so much. I am a little bit worried about it, actually, as an answer of the question, because producing content seems like a little bit easier, but I think Google's action in the near future will just show us what is going on in the web in the next few months and years, I think. But as you mentioned, this should be used as a tool, not just the main tool to create all the content in the web, just as a how can I say, help to create the content, I think. So
yeah, like our content assistant.
Yeah, thank you so much. And also other next speakers, Heather just thanked you for the great speech, and some of our other attendees also sent their messages to thank you. So I think it's a great timing as well, because we just 1 minute left. And thank you so much for your time, for being here, for the great presentation again, Katie.
Thank you for having me. Can't wait to listen to Heather as well. So have a great evening.
Okay, thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.